My girlfriend confessed she had been unfaithful. I needed a real man, she said with a smug smile. Chloe came up first, clearly tipsy. You've got some nerve showing up here, she slurred loudly. Just enough for nearby guests to hear. After everything you put Allison through. Smiled. Everything I put her through. That's interesting. Do tell. That's when Gemma stepped in. Remember her? My coworker. Turns out she'd been quietly gathering receipts. Screenshots of Allison bragging about her conquest in company group chats. Recordings of her planning how to twist the story with Jay. Gemma raised her glass and said, "Actually, I think everyone here deserves to hear the real story." What followed was like watching dominoes fall. Mrs. J entered the room perfectly timed, tablet in hand. Suddenly, the projector accidentally started showing messages and photos. Incriminating ones. Allison scrambled, trying to spin her version. But then Jacob chimed in. Good old bros before. Well, you know, until career opportunity knocks. He had been recording everything on his phone, planning to show it to Jay later, probably to earn brownie points. Instead, he captured Allison's complete meltdown. You think you're so clever, she screamed at me. My friend supported her. I simply smiled, took my keys and walked away. This morning my phone buzzed with 32 missed calls. Looking back, I should have noticed the warning signs. They were there, spread out like breadcrumbs over the last few months of our relationship. But after being with someone for 3 years, you tend to give them the benefit of the doubt. At least that's what I kept telling myself. Began with small things. Allison started staying late at work more frequently. That wasn't strange during busy times. But then came a new fragrance I didn't recognize. Clothing I had never seen before appeared in our closet. And suddenly, her phone became a sacred item, never more than an arm's length away. I'm not the jealous type. Never have been. But something felt different. Like how she would pull away when I hugged her from behind while she was texting, or how she would step outside to take calls, saying they were work-related. There were frequent girls' nights with people I had never heard of before. Last Tuesday, I was folding laundry when her phone lit up on the coffee table. A message preview from someone named Jay appeared. Miss you already. Last night was. The rest was cut off, but my stomach dropped. I didn't want to be the kind of guy who snoops through his girlfriend's phone. But it felt like the universe was yelling at me to wake up. That night when she got home, I chose to be straightforward. She was in the kitchen, casually making a smoothie, as if nothing was wrong. The blender roared as I stood by the doorway, watching her. Who's Jay? I asked once she turned off the machine. Her body stiffened instantly. Then, to my surprise, she smiled. Not her usual warm smile, but something cold and almost victorious. I was wondering when you'd finally figure it out, Michael, she said, sipping her drink. Jay is my boss, and yes, I've been sleeping with him for the past 2 months. The casual way she said it felt like a slap in the face. No guilt, no shame, just pride. I needed a real man, she continued, smirking. Someone who knows what he wants and goes for it. Not someone who wastes weekends playing video games with Jacob. And watching silly movies. I stood there taking in her words. 3 years together, and this was how she truly saw me. Through the shock, a strange feeling emerged. Not anger but clarity. Does Chloe know? I asked, thinking of the friend who had introduced us. Oh, she's known for weeks, Allison laughed. Most of our friends know. They understand Jay can actually offer a future. Not just dreams and excuses. That hurt more than the cheating itself. The same people we had celebrated birthdays, holidays, and dinners with. They had known. They had probably been laughing behind my back. I opened my group chat with Jacob and Chloe. Is this true? You all knew. Jacob replied quickly. Bro, you're great, but Allison deserves someone more stable. Don't take it personally. Chloe added. We didn't want to hurt you. But maybe this is the wake-up call you needed. I looked up from my phone. Allison was watching me, still smirking. She was waiting for an outburst. A scene she could talk about later. Poor, immature Michael losing his cool. Instead, I smiled. A real, genuine smile that caught her off guard. Without a word, I walked to our bedroom, grabbed my travel bag I always kept packed, took my laptop and keys. As I passed the kitchen again, Allison was staring. Her smirk began to fade. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Out," I replied simply. "And Allison, keep the apartment. I'm sure Jay can help cover the rent." She started to say something, but I closed the door behind me before she could finish. My phone was buzzing again. Probably our so-called friends trying to justify themselves. As I drove away, I switched off my phone and felt something unexpected: relief. Sometimes losing everything reveals that you never had anything worth holding onto in the first place. I had no idea where I was heading, but for the first time in months, it felt like I was going in the right direction. The best revenge: letting people reveal their true colors. The party was at a fancy downtown hotel. I arrived late, dressed better than I ever had for one of these events. The looks on their faces, priceless. Allison nearly dropped her drink. Jay's face went from red to white so fast, I thought he might pass out. And the best part, I didn't have to do a thing. "You think you're so clever," she screamed at me. "Bill, Jay loves me. We're going to have a life together." And then Mrs. J calmly dropped the final bomb. Divorce papers. Turns out Jay had been feeding the same future to multiple women. Same script, just a new actress. Through it all, I barely said a word. I just watched years of lies unravel in real time. Juliana, who had been quiet the whole night, finally spoke. "I helped her," she confessed to the silent crowd. "I helped ruin another guy's life. I can't do it again." By midnight the party was over. Allison stormed out, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Jay locked himself in his office with HR. And the friends who once took her side. They couldn't even look me in the eye. As I was leaving, Mrs. J stopped me. "Thank you," she said, "for being the one who didn't run." I drove back to my motel feeling strangely at peace. Pete, the owner, was watching late-night TV. He looked up and grinned. "Good night." You could say that. Final update. The last chapter. And here we are. The final chapter of this saga. Strap in, this one's worth some popcorn. The fallout from the party hit hard and fast. Within 48 hours, both Jay and Allison were forced to resign. But that was only the beginning. Remember those files Mrs. J had? There was more, so much more. Falsified expense reports to cover business dinners with Allison. Emails plotting against co-workers. Manipulated performance reviews. She gave everything to the company's board and legal team. They acted swiftly. Not because of the affair, but because of the clear pattern of harassment and financial misconduct. Now both Jay and Allison face civil lawsuits. And then came the twist. Remember Mark, the guy who left town? He came back. With receipts. He had documented everything before he left. The smear campaign Jay and Allison led against him. The lies, the sabotage. He just didn't know what to do with it, until now. Mrs. J introduced him to her lawyer. 3 days later, Mark filed his own lawsuit. Then something powerful happened. Other former employees came forward. Each with stories, screenshots, documents. What began as one scandal turned into an avalanche. Allison tried to save face. Posted a tearful video online, claiming she was the real victim. Manipulated by Jay, now being unfairly targeted. That's when Juliana grew a spine. She released private chats where Allison boasted about her conquests and how she'd ruin people's reputations. Chats where she mocked her victims. And then last week, Pete called me at work. "That girl you told me about is here, making a scene." I drove back slowly. Found Allison sitting on the hood of my car. Mascara streaked again, clutching a manila envelope. "I have dirt on everyone," she said, voice shaking. "If you don't help me stop this, I'll release it all." I laughed. "Go ahead. Burn every bridge you have left. She threw the envelope at me. Inside, screenshots, photos, private messages, her insurance. I photographed every page while she watched, then handed it back. Release whatever you want. But first ask yourself, where did your past schemes get you? People like Allison can't handle having their own tactics used against them. She ripped the envelope apart in the parking lot, screaming threats. Someone recorded it. It was viral by nightfall. And the final blow. Yesterday, Mrs. J's divorce was finalized. She got everything. The house, the cars, most of the assets. Jay's golden parachute. Gone, used to pay legal fees. His career. Over. Google his name, he's done. Allison. Last I heard, she's moving back in with her parents out of state. Her social media is silent. Her former friends are scrambling to cover themselves. Backing the wrong horse comes with consequences. Jacob tried to apologize. Sent me a long message saying he should have been a better friend. I replied with a screenshot of his old messages backing Allison. He blocked me. Coward. Chloe's doing damage control too. Worried the screenshots Allison kept might harm her career. Do I feel bad? Almost. As for me, I signed a lease on a new apartment. Got a promotion at work. Funny how removing toxic people improves everything. And yeah, I'm seeing someone new. Taking it slow. Doing it right. The best revenge isn't scheming or fighting. It's living well. And letting people destroy themselves with their own lies. Still, I won't lie. Watching it all collapse. Deeply satisfying. This is my final update. Thanks for being here. Remember, karma doesn't need your help. Just your silence. And a front row seat.